50 million Americans own Bitcoin, and I believe that's going to be 100 million before too long.
That was JD Vance speaking at the Bitcoin conference, and I just rushed out of that convention, headed straight to the Airbnb to get you this emergency crypto video because his 30-minute speech had huge implications for crypto holders out there. Now, you just heard him say 100 million Americans are going to be owning Bitcoin. I believe that to be true in my heart of hearts, and so much so, it's not a matter of if, it is definitely a matter of when. But his speech had three main pillars, and we're going to talk about those. And the second one is the one that had the huge implications for crypto holders out there. So the first thing he brought up, we're going to stop the fight against crypto. He highlighted a couple things there. Came through the Trump presidency. They came through on their promise to fire Gary Gensler. The crowd erupted in cheers when he brought up that point. And he also talked about the eradication of Choke Point 2.0. If you don't know what that is, that was politicians leaning in on the banks trying to service crypto companies, crypto providers, mostly led by Elizabeth Warren. No more are we going to have Choke Point 2.0.
We're ending the weaponization of federal regulations against this community. To put it simply, Operation Choke Point 2.0 is dead, and it's not coming back under the Trump administration.
Now, the other thing he talked about was the Genius Act. We're going to jump on that in a second. And the third pillar was we are going to become a world leader in crypto innovation. He says we do not need to lose this breakthrough technology to other countries, and we don't want these companies to leaving and going offshore. But now let's talk about the second pillar of his speech when he covered the Genius Act. Now, the Genius Act is legislation trying to go through Congress right now that he said Trump will sign immediately when it hits his desk. And the Genius Act is for stablecoins, and it stands for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins. So that's how you get the Genius. And the Genius Act just basically provides some more rules for the road for issuers of stablecoins and purveyors of stablecoins, anyone who wants to interact with stablecoins, all the way from Tether and Circle, all the way down to people like you and me who just want to maybe earn a little bit of yield, and people who just are holding an asset like the dollar. They know it's losing value, and so maybe it'd be nice to earn a little bit of yield so you can offset the inflation as your dollar becomes worth a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less every single year. Now, with the Genius Act, really trying to push this through, it's going to be huge for DeFi, and I think more specifically Bitcoin DeFi, I think is going to be a major winner here. Once we start getting a little bit more clarity, that's when it's going to be easier for large banks to maybe even issue their own stablecoin, issue different types of stablecoins that, are going to be backed by U.S. treasuries primarily, but maybe we can start seeing baskets of currencies, maybe even gold, maybe other currencies, as we start to create a more robust ecosystem. So what we're going to be doing here over at Discover Crypto, we're going to be looking at the DeFi opportunities, the ones that are maybe in a great place, like an Aave, like a Chainlink, but also Bitcoin DeFi. I think it's going to have some huge opportunities as well. So you need to stay tuned. We're going to be watching all these projects, seeing who's going to be at the front of the line once some of this legislation passes, who's going to get these licenses first, who's going to be able to go to market first, and who's going to be able to capitalize on this revolution. So when you think about the Trump presidency, Trump and JD Vance got in the office in January, February, March, April, May. So they're only in there for about 4 months at this point. The presidency is going to last 48 months. And so we have this period where they're only in for about 10% of the time. And the best part of this journey, I think, is going to be for the rest of the 90% of their presidency. I think the Trump administration, they've done a lot in this 10% of the time they've been there. But what's coming next? What's coming for the next 44 months? That's where you got to stay tuned. And right now, Republicans have the Congress, so it might only be about 24 months. So we've already 4 months into that. Might have about 20 months left to rush through a lot of pro-crypto legislation. We're going to be watching all this as it's trying to pass. I'm DZ for Discover Crypto, bringing you this emergency live straight from JD Vance's convention center. I ran from there, got to this Airbnb so I can get this video out to you. Smash the like on the way out. Appreciate it. DZ out.